defendant, and I'm wondering if the court has the letter that the defendant wrote to the court.
Yes,
I didn't know if you had a chance to read it.
yes, I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Judge Boyd.
Hello.
How are you today, ma'am?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's a beautiful Friday. Well, it's not Friday, it's Monday.
Monday.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
you know, the reason why I say it's a beautiful Friday, because when you're off on Friday, Friday becomes a Monday and a Monday. All right. According to you entered a plea to kidnapping of no contest on March 20th, 2023. According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state opposes your application. They're taking several cases into consideration. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Have parties had a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections, state?
No objection.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
State, any witnesses? Are there witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, you want to call her?
I thought it was for victim impact statement after sentencing.
We will be calling her as a witness.
I can't hear you, Mr. Vera.
Yes, we will be calling her as a witness, Your Honor.
All right, call your witness, state.
Ms. Tovar, you are the victim in this case against Mr. Zaragoza, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you are aware that he has applied for deferred adjudication with probation.
I am.
And are you in what are your feelings if the defendant were to be granted probation?
Objection, Your Honor.
And what's your objections?
He's telling you what effect your decision will have on her. And we don't want her influencing.
All right, that'll be sustained.
Do you want the defendant to be released on probation?
Objection, Your Honor. It's the same thing.
Sustained.
I'll ask the court to disregard, of course.
Oh, yes, it's disregarded.
Ms. Tovar, on December 21st of 2021, can you tell the court what happened?
So I visited Ray to pick up Christmas money because me and the kids were living in Atascosa County due to CPS case that we had for domestic violence.
Your Honor, I object because it's repetitive. Everything about that offense is in the police report, which was presented to the court as part of our plea package.
All right, so just so all parties are aware, I've read the stipulations in its entirety. I always reread those before sentencing, and I read them once I make a decision on whether there's sufficient evidence to find somebody guilty. And I've also thoroughly read the TAP evaluation. So you can ask your next question.
Yes. Ms. Tovar, have you had any contact with the defendant since these allegations?
Yeah, so he calls the house and speaks to myself and the kids. I guess when he can, because he doesn't.
No, there's objection, non-responsive. She answered his question.
All right, that'll be overruled.
You can continue.
Oh, so he has to use, I guess, a pre-collect call that he has because he doesn't have any money on the account to call us.
Okay,
So, and I don't fund it anymore. I just did for a little while around Christmas time, but no, it's only when he gets a collect call, he can call.
And Ms. Tovar, you currently have a protective order against the defendant?
I do.
And do you feel that is sufficient to keep you safe?
No.
And why is that?
I
Objection,
did it
Your
in the
Honor.
first
what
place.
is your objection?
She's commenting on what your decision will ultimately do to affect her and her children.
All right, that'll be overruled. You can answer the question.
No, I don't think so. It didn't in the first place. It didn't. Ray was still coming around and still calling.
And while these cases were pending, you did have a no contact order against the
Right.
defendant, correct?
Right. But I was told that to let him talk to the kids. So even though we have a no contact order, that's why, I was taking calls so that he could talk to the kids. I didn't want anybody to say that I wasn't allowing it. Yeah, because they're not part of the protective order. It's just me.
Thank you. Nothing further on.
All right, defense.
No question.
All right, thank you. State, do you have another witness?
No other witnesses. Your Honor.
Defense.
It's the defendant himself.
All right, if you come forward. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Zaragoza Ray, the Jr.
All right, defense.
Thank you. Mr. Tovar, did you want to address the court with regard to why are you requesting her to give you probation?
Yes. I feel that given probation, I could complete probation. As you know, I haven't been in trouble before, Your Honor. This is the longest I've been in jail. I feel that I've made a mistake. And if you read the current note I wrote to you, Your Honor, it describes more of my feelings. I want to apologize to the court and I want to apologize to my wife. Who we've been together 11 years, 10 years. Been with the family 15 years. All I know is my family, Your Honor. And I'm asking for your leniency and your mercy, Your Honor, for probation classes so I can better myself.
Thank you.
All right, state any questions?
Yes, Your Honor, briefly. Mr. Tovar,
Yes, sir.
in this case, you're charged with a violation of a bond of protective order, as well as a repeat violation of a bond of protective order, in addition to the kidnapping, correct?
I am.
He was.
I was.
And given that there was a no contact order protecting Miss Tovar from you, you violated those no contact orders.
That is wrong. She came to my home and moved in with me because she had no place to live. I wasn't going to leave my wife and my kids out on the street. So I did not violate it. She came to me and that's how I violated her.
But you were made aware that any contact with Miss Tovar would be a violation of those bond conditions, is that correct?
I was aware, but I was not going to leave my kids and my wife out in the street, sir.
In this kidnapping case, you did tie up Miss Tovar with duct tape, is that correct?
No, that is incorrect.
And you said you've never been in trouble before, but you did have a case out of Atascosa County, Texas, for a violation of bond of protective order in that county as well, isn't that correct?
That was for phone calls for talking to my children, which I had the right to do. And if you check the records, it says for electronic communication, I was allowed to talk to my kids.
And you did abscond during that case on February 9th of 2023, is that correct?
Is that?
You just didn't do anything and you failed to report.
I was in jail.
Okay.
It's not that I failed to report. It's I couldn't go.
Okay.
I was in custody. I'm sorry. I said during that incident, I was in custody, so I couldn't go over there.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Any further questions?
No,
All right, any other witnesses?
no, Your Honor.
All right, the court will hear argument. State, you're opposed.
Yes, Your Honor. We're opposed to the defendant being granted probation. While you heard from the victim that she does not feel protected just by the no contact order, and that the fact that he was charged with a repeat violation of court order bond condition twice, which are being taken into consideration in this offense, Your Honor, shows that the defendant, whatever the allegations were, completely disregarded the court's order, and telling him that he's not supposed to have any contact with the complainant.
But what about his saying that she came to live with him?
But Your Honor, regardless of what the allegations are, if he knew that he had these charges pending.
No, I understand that, but isn't that mitigating the fact that she chose to go and live with him? Now, I understand financially there are issues, but a no contact order, of course, it's a document, it's on paper, and the defendant knows they're not to have contact with them. But what about his saying that he had a choice? Either his children were going to be on the street with her, or either she was going to come to live with him. But it doesn't appear in that situation, if it's truthful, he didn't go and have her come live with him. She decided to go live with him.
That is correct, Your Honor. And while it may be mitigating there, knowing that he did have that no contact order, there are other options for Mr. Tovar to be able to take care of his children without having contact with the complainant. He could have taken the children while Ms. Tovar went to go find another living arrangement.
Do you know she wanted him to take the children and leave without her children?
That I'm unaware of, Your Honor.
Okay.
But given that and given the allegations in this case, Your Honor, we don't feel that we do feel that the defendant is a danger to Ms. Tovar if he were to be granted probation. And so we'd ask that you deny the defendant's application to take it.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. As you know from reading the pre-sentence report, my client doesn't have an extensive criminal history. These offenses, although serious, have really made him take a step back to reassess his life and how he lives his life and how he treats his family. And I think he's expressed rather eloquently in the letter that he tendered to the court. He's going to do whatever it takes to fix himself. He's even read the PSI where the recommendations on the tap eval that if granted probation, he should be placed in a program to help make sure he's no longer drinking excessive amounts of alcohol. And he wants to fix himself in that way. And he's been taking some classes in the jail since he's been in jail. It's been a couple of months now to help him control his demeanor, his anger, everything. He's trying to fix himself.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to deny your application, find you guilty, sentence you to 9 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2022 CR 7416, 2023 CR 1300. Or we can go off the record. You're going to have to make better decisions in your life.
Yes, Your Honor. This is just a mistake, Your Honor. I wish.
Well, no, it was a choice and it was a bad choice.
Yes, ma'am.
And here's the thing, I understand about protective orders.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
understand that sometimes the person who the protective order is supposed to protect, they decide that they're going to go live with the person that there's a protective order against. And then there's an issue that happens and then everybody calls the police and here we are.
Yes.
So
ma'am.
when you have a protective order, you are the person who are responsible. And if somebody wants to come live with you and there's a protective order in place, you need to say no. Do you understand?
I do now, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, you knew beforehand, you just decided, maybe we can work this out. Here's the thing, she doesn't want you anymore. That relationship is over. You can consider her on paper, unless y'all got a divorce, she's still your wife. But in reality, she's not your wife anymore. She does not want to be with you. Do you understand? Do not call her from the jail. Do not call her from the prison. Do not contact her. And if you want to see your children, and Ms. Burke does a lot of civil work, if you want to see your children, then that needs to be done through a third party, but it's not to be done through Ms. Tovar. It's like you don't even know her. Do you understand?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Christopher Reyes.